Hey everybody, it's Coach Bill, and man, if you've been reading the emails that I've been reading from Sarah Middleton about this guy coming to town, if I were you, I'd be pretty fired up. And I really wish I had one of those little poppers right now, that could go and the confetti could come down. I would love to have one of those. It's reminiscent of whatever that TV commercial is with the monkey that comes over and pushes the thing but I digress. Let me try and give you an idea of what to expect and answer some of the questions that Sarah's been hearing from you guys so that we make this a killer event. It's a bit unique in the sense that it is a day together where you and I will be together for the whole day, but for the second part of the day we're going to bring in your best realtors. And I've been sort of learning this as I'm doing this around the country on what works and what doesn't. So here's kind of the best practice. We will be together from 9 to noon, and in that time we'll be talking about what I'm seeing working around the country right now in this market, with so many of your competitors being distracted, and you too. I mean, in all honesty, I get the distraction. I fully understand that refi dollars spend just as well as purchase dollars. But we all also know that this market is going to shift. And, just today I heard a client in a coaching session tell me that they were talking to a realtor that called her, wasn't doing business with her, but she had been targeting them through our coaching. And the realtor said, how many properties can you finance at once? And she answered the question and said, why do you ask? And he said, well, I've got a client obviously that I'm looking at right now that I'm trying to help. But more importantly, I called my lender that I normally do business with 2 days ago and I haven't heard back. Do you kind of see what's going on out there? So our opportunity is huge. In the first 3 hours of the day, that's what we're going to deal with. You and I are going to talk about what I'm seeing that's working in today's market in terms of best practices for identifying, targeting, communicating with, and cultivating relationships both with your existing realtors and your targeted realtors, people that you would like to go after. We're then going to have the realtors join us for lunch. And I would suggest that happen at noon. We would then have lunch from 12 to 1. And here everything changes, obviously, because now you've got guests. They weren't here for the first part of the morning. They don't know that what we've talked about. I think to a certain degree there's a sense of, they were probably talking about us, and they'd be right. And then at 1 o'clock we move back into the meeting room, and I'm going to suggest that we go from 1 until 3:30. 2.5 hours just seems to be optimal, where what I'm going to walk them through is largely the message of what am I seeing, lessons from the country's top agents. What am I seeing from the audio interviews that I do? And I think you all got a copy of the recent Brett Tanner interview so that you can circulate. Make sure you listen to it. So I'm talking to you right now. You. Please make sure you listen to that interview. Then make sure that you circulate that interview to the 5 realtors that you're going to bring, and it will give you an opportunity to discuss best practices, what's working in this market, and obviously the sort of thread woven through that whole dialogue is this guy, this interviewer, this Coach Bill Hart guy. He's the guy that's going to be here speaking. So in that time, I'll be walking them through what I'm seeing is working right now, but one of the subtexts is now more than ever, you need to be working hand in hand with your mortgage lender partner, and I'll give them examples of how that's working around the country. So in a nutshell, that's it. I'm just going to look off camera here for a second, make sure I've answered all the questions. Yeah, do we need to prepare anything? Not really. Not really. Just this expectation so that you sort of understand that the audience, it's going to shift, and it's a strange thing. It took me a while. It took me a few of these to realize that, like, what's going on? I would actually have to stop and talk to the realtors and say, is this on? Are you with me? But it's because they've kind of got their shields up a little bit. It's a little different than in the mortgage lending business where, we Building Champions is fairly well known, and there's implied trust and so forth that you're sort of getting through Sarah and Darren to me and all of that. And the realtors really don't have that. So I want you to be aware that there is that shift in the audience, and what we need to do is really welcome them. So we're done at 3:30, and then what I'd like to do is I'd like to spend, if we can, the final 30 minutes together. And I realize that if you've driven with your realtors long distance, that won't work for you. But I'd like to just kind of put a cherry on top of the sundae with you guys if we've got just a little bit of time that we can spend alone. If that doesn't work, we'll do it another way. We might do it via conference call. But there you go. That's what to expect. Sorry to be so long. I look forward to seeing you in 30 days. I'm excited about it. While your competition is distracted, let's us lean in and make something good happen.